Hey guys, today is May the 22nd of 2016 and I'm going to be using as an example the pound dollar using astro trading techniques, using planetary lines and planetary projection lines. So it's going to be an educational video. It's going to show you some tricks and tips if you want to get an edge using double D Gann style trading. So please pause the video and read the video disclaimer. So the software I'm using today is called Timing Solutions Advanced. This is their website, and the technique that I'm going to be showing you is called astro trading using planetary lines. I put in parentheses TTA theory, which is tunnel through the air theory. I'm going to show you why I believe in my opinion there's a connection between these two, and planetary projection lines into the future to forecast possible price action, pivot swings, and support and resistance. We'll be using the pound dollar current low of the February 29th, 2016, 138.35. You know, your low might be different, but it should be pretty close as an example. I'm going to show you the website real quick before I get into the chart. This is their website. I recommend if you want to have an edge and use more of the double D Gann techniques. I've noticed that on the internet there's a lot of people talking about double D Gann, his theories, his calculations, but no one's really showing real-time, examples of, what's going on, how to use it. And I figure, might as well break the ice and show you some examples of how to use it. You could take it on your own and take it to a next level, but at least this would be a good starting point, and you could practice. Timing Solutions is a great software, so I recommend that you check it out, and if you like it, invest in it, and it should give you an edge trading the markets. Alright, so here it is. This is a timing solution. This is the pound dollar. We made a low on the 29th right here, and this is the price action that we have until May 20th, which is right here. Take a little sip of coffee here. Okay. So first thing is, this is not a standalone system I'm gonna teach you. This is something you incorporate with your own calculations and your own indicators. Let's say if you use the RSI or whatnot, this is, you can use it with whatever indicator that you have that you've been using for years, or something you're comfortable with and you back test it for whatever reason. But this is not a standalone strategy using astro trading, but you can. Nothing's written in stone in my book. You could, dig deeper and experiment and and try it, and if you like it, this could be like your style. But I don't do it. I recommend it with other calculations, using price and time, using geometry, using astro trading, the heavens, everything, numbers, calculations of numbers of support and resistance, and then you determine plus indicators to see if everything is lining up. What you want to do is you want to find out if there's a cluster of things lining up, and letting you know that there could be a possibility that somewhere around here we could make a pivot. We can make a pivot high. Somewhere around here could be a possibility that we could have a pivot high. Somewhere around here there's a possibility, I think I'm going to get it next time, that we have a pivot low. Somewhere around here could be a possibility that we have a pivot low. Same thing here. So if we could forecast this and have an idea that there could be a possible turn, it would be a great idea. And there's a lot of tools that could help you doing this. The key is to get them all to line up. I mean, if you have one, it could work out. Sometimes just having one that it's accurate, it's really good. But through the years that I've been trading, I've noticed that if you have a cluster of things lining up, the greater the probability of it becoming a pivot swing low, where you could go long or you could go short, or you could go short here, long, short, increases when you have a lot of them confirming your calculations with this technique I'm going to teach you. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to teach you is planetary lines. Planetary lines are these right here. This is a combination of planetary lines, pretty much like the way they are in the sky. And what the software Timing Solution does, it takes these calculations of the planets and maps them out in the chart and plots it against price action. So these are in there embedded. They'll change and with the scaling of price, but once you get the exact pricing, the software does a calculation and plots these lines, and then they stay there. So you can see right here, it's finding support. It's in this channel. It pretty much is like channels. I mean, if this wasn't here, a lot of traders would, and it's not wrong, a lot of traders would just oops, wrong one. We'll do like channels like that. We'll do that. And that's a channel, right? They'll try to, they'll put a channel there. If this hasn't, if this is developing, they'll put just a channel there. If it breaks it, then it's down. Then they'll put a channel there. And this is chopping around here. Once it breaks it there, then they'll put a channel here. And if that breaks it, so it's kind of like, this is what traders are doing. I still do this too, but a lot of people do this, and softwares do that. See, it's little channels, and now we're here, current, where this could be a possible, channel within this big channel. You get the idea? So that's one way traders do it. But planetary lines are pretty much the planets, and these are their channels. Now you could get channels of planetary lines trending on the uptrend, and you could have the planetary lines channels going on the downtrend. So if price action, pound dollar has been selling, it could show you every time where it'll come up. This could be a possible resistance, but it broke through. This was possible, was resistance. It sold off, hit it again, went up, and now it's hitting. So now this is resistance now currently. So it's having a tough time here, and it came down. So it could show you that, in a downtrend. On an uptrend, since we did a swing pivot low here, you can see where it's finding resistance, and sometimes it finds supports and it cracks it, but then it goes up and it finds support right here. It's finding support right here, so this is like a channel. It's finding resistance right here, pierces it, sells off. It's having a tough time trying to get it back here, and now imagine there's like a channel right here in between these planetary lines. Well, there is, and that's what you call harmonics. So within this planetary line, there's a harmonic line that intercedes right here. So it's like a channel within a channel, and you can see that the pound dollar found support here. And this is just using planetary lines. This has nothing to do with Fibonacci, percentages or anything like that. This is just strictly planetary lines plotted on the chart on price action. So if you think this could be an edge, and this could be a thing for you, to research and dig in deeper, you could get Timing Solution and check it out. And now you could go an extra step and do a third harmonic. So you got harmonic 2 and 3 within these planetary lines. You could continue going up. As you can see, the lines just continue, growing. I normally use 3, and I'll show you why. The next thing you could do is you could do mirroring. So we have channels going up planetary lines, and then you'll have channels going down planetary lines. The key thing is within the trends going up and trends down that you're going to come to a point where you're going to hit these intersections right here. Right here. These are what I call vibrations. You ever heard of W. Gann talk about vibrations? And this is in my opinion. This is just my observation. Vectors, vibration, and every time prices hit these vectors or vibrations of intersections of planetary lines of going up and down, something happens. You either have it stall, like right here. Price action just stalled right here for a little bit and then shot up, or you could have it find resistance and shoot down, or you could find it as support, as right here. Vectors or vibrations. That's a nice example right there, currently where we're at. This one, it sold off a little earlier, but it didn't do it there. So you can see that sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes price action had, for some reason, it sold off here, ahead of here. But this is great for timing. So if you have probabilities that it might turn here, and all your indicators are showing that, if you're using like an RSI or something like that, you're kind of oversold, and you see that it's raising up, you might want to go long here and do the swing trade here going up, as an example. So the cool thing about timing solution is that you could do this planetary mirrored technique, and then you could add the harmonics to it. So that's harmonic 2, and then that's harmonic 3. One of the reasons why I use 3 because of the power of 3. The 3, they bear witness in heaven. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And then you can see W. Gann, he really was key into the number 3, the number 6, and the number 9. This right here is a box, if you really look at it. And within that box or square, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. 3, 6, and 9. If you look up and do some research on those 3 numbers, especially 9, you're going to find some fascinating things. And I'll just leave it at that, just to tickle your ears if you want to do some more research. But that's that right there. And you have that square, and then prices jump up and they're in this square, and it's just, you can see, finding support, resistance, support, chopping along, breaks through, and now it's in this square, and it's traveling from square to square within these channels. Now I'll take the mirror off. Tunnel through the air. Doesn't that look like a tunnel? Tunnel through the air. Tunnels through the air. Tunnels through the air. So that's one example of using planetary lines. Another example on the pound dollar where you could get an edge forecasting with probabilities is using planetary projection lines. So planetary projection line is forecasting in the future what price action could possibly do. And this is a planetary projection line, and as you can see, pound dollar, This showed off that it could possibly sell here on the 9th, and it stalled, but it shot up, came down, shot up, and sold off on the 18th, came down. This cycle then is showing that it could possibly do a low, not like price level wise, but timing wise. That's one thing you got to remember when you're using this. It's not saying that the pound dollar is going to go up here to 48. It's just telling you that the pound dollar could possibly turn on the 9th. And remember, I said possibly. As you can see, it didn't do it, but it did it here. This is saying that possibly in the future, the pound dollar could, have a pivot swing low here. And let's add this. I could probably do about it. Right here, said it was a 4th, and 4th was around here, 4/5, and it pushed it even lower. And the next day, the 6th, they did a low, and then it shot up. And then right here, saying that it could possibly do a pivot swing high the 22nd, but it stalled for like 1, 2, 3, 4 days, and then shot up, and then put a swing high on the 3rd. So the projection lines, this planetary projection lines, telling you could possibly do a pivot low on the 13th, and this one nailed it. And now this one is shooting and saying it could possibly do a pivot swing high on the 28th. So let's see how that pans out. So using that with your indicators that you normally use, whatever it is, the MACD or whatnot, you could kind of have a confirmation in regards, astro trading with your technique and your, strategy to see how it works out. So to put this in motion, let's make pretend that this was the low right here. That's the low right there. Let's add this planetary lines, and let's take it from there. This is how I would trade it. So we do a low there, the power of 3. If there's 1, 2, 3 candles to the upside, the 4th one, then you would put your calculations with planetary lines on that 29th low, and the line projection, planetary line projections on the 29th low, and then take it from there and see how that pans out. You could add the mirroring, so you can see that price action goes up. Let's see if I could just hide this. Yeah. So like right here, I would think that if this was the low and we had 3 days up, like I wouldn't add any of this until I have 3 days to the upside. This is important, why the 3rd day is emphasized. The 3rd day, you have a swing low on the 3rd day. Once you have 3 there, and you go on the 4th and it's up, you do your calculations and build from there. Same thing here. If you got the low on the 21st, 1, 2, 3 on the 4th day, you put your calculations there and work your way up. So right here, I would probably think, that the pound dollar would probably sell off. I got vibration level there, and I have this confirming that. If you want to do the RSI, you can, or whatever. So those two right there confirming it could be a possible swing high. If you want to add harmonics 2 and 3, you can, but just to make it easy on the eyes, I'll just leave it with the main planetary lines without harmonics. And then you see that price got volatile right here, inside day, outside day, and then shot out right here, and it kept going. So we'll continue going. Next thing I would probably think, if it was in here, a swing pivot high could probably be anywhere between the 23rd and somewhere around the 19th right here. So we look at price action and see what happens. Let's get this a little closer. And price action sold off on the 18th. So it really didn't do it on the 23rd, but did it on the 18th. And if you pop in your RSI, you can see that you're already getting overbought. And I'm using the RSI as an example. You could use whatever you want, MACD, stochastics. So right here, this was another possibility where a possible pivot swing high up here, and here too. So the 23rd, or somewhere between the 17th and the 20th, it actually was right smack in the middle. 19. It's probably that was probably maybe a Friday, because maybe 19 was a Saturday. These are gaps, so these are weekends. So then it starts, the cycle. Planetary projection line is telling me that pound dollar is gonna go down to the downside now. It's gonna be a swing low, projection trending down. So what you do is you push down. Let's get this, and from here to here, I was thinking maybe you could do a swing low here on the 4th, or it could be a possible, somewhere around the 8th. Pound dollar did a low on the 6th, and you see that it found support on the planetary lines right here. So you got the planetary projection telling you we're coming close to a low. We got the vector point right here, or the vibration point, where there could be a possible low. So planetary is confirming a possible low here, and then it does a low. So this one worked out great, give or take. Well, you can see the price action. You could have just figured it out right here with this planetary and gone long. So then looking into the future, I'm thinking somewhere around here we probably might put a high, swing pivot high. So we trend, hit resistance here, find support here. If you can add the second and third harmonics, you can see that it gets even tighter, and it popped right here. See, when you add these harmonics within the bigger harmonics, you see this sometimes price action moves. See, like right here. So I'll make it easier on the eyes. We shot up, didn't do a pivot high here, kind of stalled here, and then shot up higher. And now we keep going. So this, if nothing lined up or brought confirmations, I could have kept writing this up, tying my stops. Probably would have gone stopped out, but if anything, wrote it up higher, and would have said, you know what, either the May 7th or May 3rd, we're going to have a swing high. And that happened to be on May 3rd. So we sold off, came down, and mind you, none of this has, printed out yet. So possibly, I'm thinking maybe May 13th we'll put a swing low, or somewhere around the 20th. So now we add our price action, and you see that on the 13th, that's a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 15th, we shot right back up. So now the projection line, planetary projection line, is telling me that it could continue going higher all the way to the 28th of May. But right now we're at a vector intersection right here, or vibration level, where pound dollar is having a tough time. We could add the harmonics, and now we're getting to the point where we're real time right here. Real time. So that's the good thing about showing you WD Gann techniques, in real time and what's happening. So we're right here now. So what you think possibly could do just using these techniques? Maybe just using these two techniques. Let's look at the harmonic level. It could probably do a little pivot low here, and maybe shoot up. So if price action gets above here and is following this planetary projection line, chances are it might continue going higher. But if it starts breaking down and going down these channels, especially this main one right here, and going down, then it may not work. So planetary projection line is telling me that it's going to go up, and possibly do a high on the 28th. Now, if that doesn't happen, because it hasn't been happening here, what's been happening here is that there's always a pivot swing high here. So the key dates to watch would be the 28th. And when I say the 28th, I say, 28-ish. It could be the 27th, it could be the 29th, giving you a 3-day window. Remember that date and number, 3-day window. Third day, the third day he rose, 3. Start thinking that way, you start getting, in my mind, or what I've experienced, an edge into these things that W.D. Gann taught. Right here, same thing. The 6th, June 6th, W.D. Gann's birthday. 5th, 6th, 7th. So, could be possible the 28-ish, 3-day window. Could be a possible swing pivot high, June 6th-ish, which could be 5th, 6th, 7th, mind you, and hopefully it's not on a Saturday or whatever. So, if the 6th is on a Friday, chances are it could be there. If this happens to, the 5th happens to be on a Friday, it could be there, or when it opens on Monday, Sunday night session, it could probably shoot down. And that's just following the projection line. And chances are it may not. It may do what they call inversion, which when pound dollar might continue going down, and either make a low here, or continue going down, and somewhere around here find a pivot swing low and shoot up. So sometimes price action does what it's an inversion. It goes the opposite, and then it lines back up. Price action is weird sometimes, but through the years of me noticing it, I've seen some weird stuff, and I've noticed patterns like that also. So just wanted to keep you posted. So a forecast for the pound dollar, 2 possibilities is that it's going to invert and go against the planetary projection line and maybe make a pivot low the 28th-ish or June 6th-ish, around there. Price level wise, I can't tell you because I haven't done any calculations to determine how low could it go. But that's what you'll use all these other confirmations and indicators and mathematics to see possibilities if it does go low against the an inversion of the cycle. Using planetary forecast, you could determine that if it goes down, but the timing you have is already in the future. So this is what you'll be looking at. Now, if it's correct as it's following the planetary projection line into the future, then this was a pretty much bear trap, and today's price action and Monday will just going to squeeze all these bears out early. Because the trend is still higher, the cycle is still pushing higher. It's forecasting to go higher, and it could either turn there or turn here as a swing pivot high. So those are the two, pretty much, or which it could happen too. We just go sideways, chop suey. But it does it for a while. It could be, and you'll notice that it'll go sideways, like right here. It just did it sideways right in this little square, and then broke down and did a head fake and shot up. But sometimes it could do it long, like the yen, that it was going sideways for like months. So that's just an example. So keep these dates, and let's see how this forecast plays. Let's see how this planetary and projection line works. Timing solution. Look that up and read all their articles to get an idea if you want to do the W.D. Gann Astro Trading Technique. May 28th-ish, June 6th-ish. Could be a swing pivot high or a swing pivot low. And using your other indicators, could give you an idea as to where we at. The RSI is kind of smack in the middle. So, and it's pointing down. So let's see what's going to happen this week. My bet, just looking at this, is that why go against the main trend is downward, but we got a swing pivot low of February the 29th, so maybe we're consolidating here and maybe building a base to go higher. But you know, with all the Brex exit and all that stuff and the fundamentals and things not looking too good in Europe, who knows? Maybe we can just continue pushing lower. But right now, let's take it one step at a time and see how this forecast works using WD Gann techniques as planetary lines and planetary projection lines. Hope this helps, and let's see how this pans out. Make some pips.